I remember it was summer 2022. It was very warm. The nights were very long and my house was very hot. I caught COVID for the second time, and two close friends were near me here. And one of them suddenly said, "Dude, your eyes have turned yellow." I couldn't have known back then the whole journey I would have had to go through, all the steps I would require to take to get where I am today. I wouldn't have expected that life could throw so many unpredictabilities at me at a certain pace at which you can't always adjust and prepare yourself enough. Nah, it was a roller coaster over almost the last 2 years, if not more, health wise for me. I have seen hospitals a lot. I have been undergoing through many medical examinations and tests. I am definitely getting somewhere. My gallbladder now is gone and I am stable, as in, I do not suffer the pain attacks caused by gallstones. But last year, it's now almost a year ago since the last gallstones have been removed. I've also been dealing with other issues, as in my mental health, my financial struggles due to my health condition, as well as people around me that really needed my support. I had to open my house for two dear friends of mine, a couple whom both have been facing a lot of issues with their family, and it was simply impossible for both of them to stay with their parents. I've tried to help them to make it possible, but it wasn't possible. Sometimes they are just too destructive for one another, and that responsibility to take care of two still children suddenly landed in my hands. And then, secondly, you get a partner. But over the last year, there was one thing that was really giving me stress, and still is giving me stress. I've developed a spot on my chin, and it shouldn't hurt, but it does. And it shouldn't grow, but it does. And the rest of my body as well is hurting where it shouldn't hurt. I am still in the process of finding things out. And as I said, meanwhile, there are so many other things I'm dealing with. You see, 1 year ago, I was making a fool out of myself. Perhaps. True. Perhaps not. But in any way, I wasn't looking sharp. And now I have to be sharp. And I had to get there all by my own. I had to make the right decisions. Without a job, I had to take care. Without mental support, I had to learn how to overcome my mental stress and to make sure I can give support to the people that are, in my opinion, more weaker than I am, less experienced than I am. I love singing, I really do. I love making music, but simply wasn't really a lot of time for that. And I wish I had a real producer who could, help me record a real album. I'm 35, almost 36 years old now, and I've taken a break for 10 years from performing on stage because I had to face justice, I had to face prosecution, I had to face rehabilitation, but first and foremost, take my responsibility, change myself, become more sharp, more balanced. And part of taking responsibility for the mistakes I've made is by showing that you can actually change your life and be an example, both in words and actions. And of course, actions speak louder than words. It was tough. 10 years ago, they asked me to join a TV program, Holland Got Talent, but I plainly and honestly told them that I was going to get convicted because I knew I was in deep shit and I was already searching for help. But I also knew that my body was fucked up back then. And now, 10 years later, I am making huge steps in order to get back in shape because I deserve to be in shape. But yeah, it's tough. Yesterday, because here it's already past midnight, so it's now the 25th, but on the 24th of January, I had to go to the hospital to get uh, a small procedure where they remove part of your skin in order to check if it's okay or not. Because I feel it's not okay, but hey, we keep staying hopeful and positive, but it hurts. Still, I feel that my energy is being sucked from my body, and I feel and I see things physically. It's scary when you have no answers. It's even more scary when you feel that things are changing in a direction you don't want them to change. But you may ask, what do I do to cope with all of this? Since you don't perform, since you don't work, since there's so much pushing on you. Hold on. I know there's a lot of controversial towards this. But weed, mentally, being autistic, especially syndrome of Asperger's, I recommend you to Google it. Helps me to keep my head up. One may say, okay, you're a druggie. Sure, mate. But for me, this one here, make sure I don't cough at the people that don't deserve it. I don't mess things up when I have to send emails, do stuff in my house, or focus, or even, fix all the plans here and make music and go to a hospital. Stay calm. It helps me, especially with everything going on in my head. But there are other things, like I said, plans, music. I listen a lot to music these days. What else? Walking. I hike every day. I try to hike. Every day I try to cycle. Every day I try to exercise. Every day I eat vegetables. Every day fresh vegetables. Every day I eat fresh fruits. I try my best to keep my head up, both mentally and physically. It's tough. Right now I'm feeling fucked up. I mean, it's all hurting. But besides from all the pain, I feel determined to fight. I really want to make it in life, as we all should do. And in order to get there, you just have to have faith. And I have faith that all the struggles, all the tribulations I went through in my life are there because of a purpose, because I'm freaking strong. And I just have to realize that more and more so. Because it's that strength and that inner faith combined with so much compassion and creativity that is going to make me go somewhere. I just have to have faith, even when it hurts, even when they say I shouldn't be so sad or pathetic. All the shades that I went through, They're lessons. All the rejections I went through, they are lessons. All those so-called grown-ups that are now calling me pathetic whilst they weren't able to raise their children, whilst they weren't able to fix their shit, whilst they weren't able to do things the way I did, and now they're jealous, and now they try to behave like a bitch. I don't care. I still move on because I'm used to all that bloody blah. And I simply learn through even the worst circumstances. From the streets of Kenya until I don't know what the fuck this is. I am still standing. And so should you. And yeah, perhaps they will laugh. Perhaps they will make fun out of you. Perhaps it's all because they are jealous and they can get around the fact that you're trying and still fighting to get there. And they always will have their comments. But the most important thing is that you have faith. And perhaps my videos sometimes are a bit messy. Perhaps my music sometimes is a little bit less perfected. But at least here you get a raw, honest story. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is in this plastic fantastic social media era something rare to find.